Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm going to wait a few more minutes till my cast come in. Everyone is late tonight. I guess they didn't think I was going on right away. So, guys, just bear with me as my cast comes in. I'm waiting for my attorney. I got to change my name here. Hold on. The judge. All right, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. We're just going to wait a few more minutes until the cast comes in. What we're doing this evening, we're going to continue day 2 of testimony in the R. Kelly trial in New York Eastern District. My name is Sylvia, and this is Infamous Sylvia. So, Infamous Sylvia channel. Those who are new to this channel, please subscribe and share. What we're trying to do is bring awareness to what's happening in the court because mainstream media is not telling us exactly what's going on. They're telling us a one-sided story. We need to know the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So just bear with me a second as my cast comes in. In the meantime, I am going to just 1 second. I don't know what happened to my cast. I told them I was going to be it's going to be 10 minutes and I was going to be on. But my cast is late. Gerondo, brother, I know you in the. Just 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, let me go ahead and put the link in for them to come on in. Come on in, people. Let's get in here so we can get started, cast member. I think they're all in the chat right now. I'm looking for Kanik. I'm looking for the attorney. I'm looking for the prosecutor. You didn't get a notice? Okay, that's probably what's going on. Okay, I'm looking for Nicole. Nicole is here. You got to change your name, Missy.
Oh, okay. Hold on. How I do that stuff?
All right, I change your name.
Okay. Oh, y'all not showing y'all face?
Yeah, I'm showing my face.
Oh.
Really don't want to show my face. Okay, where is our Kanik? Kanik is playing around again this morning, this afternoon. All right, maybe just bear with us 1 second. My apologies, everyone. Just waiting for the cast to come in. My apologies. Did you guys enjoy this afternoon?
I did.
It was really good, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 attorneys.
3.
You know they're gonna hate now,
Woman
right?
at that. And you had a woman at that.
Mm-hmm. You heard what she said.
Mm-hmm. She looks like a lawyer too,
Yeah.
doesn't she?
Uh-huh.
I said she got lawyer rent all over her.
She said she wants to come back. She sent me a message. So I said, definitely. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why the enemy attacked so strongly against us,
Keep
Spitfire.
moving. We not even we acknowledging them. Oh, you ain't gonna acknowledge
Ah,
that. Keep moving.
they got Navarro. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
You being Navarro tonight? I thought you was going to be Emily. I mean, Emily, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who? Emily. You said Emily.
Huh?
Hello?
Emily, whatever his name is. I don't know his name. It's page 367.
367. Hold on, let me
Where's
back up there.
Kanik? Where's Kanik?
I thought we was gonna redo it tomorrow at like noon.
No, we want to get it over. We're trying to
No,
get it.
because they want to start. It's so long, Daddy, that tomorrow's gonna be a long one. So they want to at least get a
Okay,
few more hours in. Yeah, tomorrow gonna even be long.
okay.
We got because we want to be up to date by the time.
Because we got to get the next set of transcripts, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we on 367.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm there.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Spitfire, how was your day?
Good. Daddy, how are yours?
It was great.
How was yours, Daddy? I'm calling you Daddy.
You know that's against the law.
That's a Rico.
Trying to send me to jail, woman.
You better change your YouTube name then. Like, oh hell no, I ain't got time for this. Just change it to Lolo.
I can't.
Where is Kanik and Demetrius? Well, Demetrius ain't tonight, is he? Does Demetrius come in tonight?
He's supposed to come in. I think at the end of the day for this one. I think he was the last witness.
Is this person who we reading the transcript now? Is this person long?
This the police officer, right? Now I think no, I don't think it's well. And I think it's the police officer. Then I think it's uh the doctor, and then I think it's Demetrius.
Okay, we have.
Or it might be Navarro.
Oh, okay. Tori.
I'm waiting for 2 of my people to come in. They coming in.
Is Kenny coming in?
I don't know. He was here earlier, so I don't know if he's coming in. You might need to switch over to Kanik because I don't know if he's coming in. I haven't heard from him.
That's no problem.
And I can get Stephen to be Okay, why can't I get people to come on time? Why can't I get folks to come in on time?
My cousin just told me he saw me on Court TV.
You did?
Yeah.
You were talking?
Huh?
You was talking in Court TV?
Yeah, they had interviewed me. They only play like 30 seconds of it on the TV, but it was interviewed me for like about 15 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
And they only play one small segment. But it's cool.
All right, Geddes is here. Hey, Geddes.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hey. Okay, we're get ready. We don't hear you, Spinfire. You muted.
You did an awesome job the other night.
Thank you very much.
I forgot you wasn't even the prosecutor. You were reading that stuff so well. You did an awesome job. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you very much.
All right, we get started now. Go to page 367, everybody. Page 367.
Okay.
So you're gonna be mechanic then? I was waiting for T. T's coming. He's gonna be the police officer.
Yeah, I'll be Kenneth.
Oh, I'm gonna. He does have that one.
I'm sorry, I missed where we're at. The dogs came up.
Page 367. Page 367.
Okay.
Where the judge says the next witness. I think that's line item.
Okay, I'm
Okay, T, I'm gonna have to change your name. You're gonna change your name, T. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Hey, what up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good. Daddy Lolo, mechanic.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to my
now, how do
person.
I change my name from Navarro? Okay, I see it.
All right, everyone,
That's how
page
you do it.
267,
Okay.
367. Nikki, where are you? You're in. Come on in, Nick. And we're gonna give everybody their part.
Who am I, Sylvia?
You are going to be Ashman. I don't know how to say his name, but it's the police officer. That's who you're gonna be. And his name is, let's go check what his name is. Hold on.
And did you send me that script? Because I don't know if I have that one.
It's the same one that you had.
It's
the same one you had from earlier.
All right. I was prepared to be Demetrius' drunk ass.
You are going to be him.
Yeah.
You're just going to switch over after we get to it.
But I think the prosecutors only
find it. I gotta
talk to
guys.
Demetrius this day.
367, y'all. Page 367.
I don't. My page is not going up to 367.
Yeah, I don't think I got that.
No, y'all. The page is look in the corner. Yeah, it's 288 pages, but if you look in the corner tells you what page it is.
I got a 209.
You're looking at the wrong one. You're supposed to be looking at August 19th.
367?
Yeah, it's on the corner.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
August 19th. Hold on.
Please bear with us, everyone.
Okay.
This is where we're at right here, guys.
Let me see. Yeah, maybe if I see it, I know.
You should start it off with because we just got done. I just got done cross-examining Geronda, so you should start it off with
367. It's right there. Where the
Okay.
judge
line
says
15.
line.
All right.
No.
The witness gets
Line.
that
Yeah,
down.
line 15.
Are you
I
ready to
don't
call
have
it?
367.
So you still ain't
You
tell
have
me what
all of it, ma'am.
I have a 734, a 1, a 209, and a 469. I only have 4. I don't have a 367.
Yeah, you have all of them.
If you get 209, you should have it.
Yeah, you do. She has
Start
it.
with
It start with 209.
It's the one that has 288 in it.
yeah, 209, and you go down.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to look at the corner over there.
Okay. I thought it could see in the email. I was just looking at the first corner. Hold on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. Just give us a moment. We're trying to get ourselves together. It's 288 pages, y'all, and it starts at 209.
Yeah, which tell me what I'm changing my name to so I can change it now.
Your name is going to be that name, Garrett. I am actually, I don't know how to say it. AMSA, just Garrett. Just put Garrett.
Garrett.
Garrick. GARRICK.
Okay.
Okay, we need our are you coming in, Kanik? And isn't Kanik is we need Geddes is here. And I think Tom is gonna come in too. Tom, that's who you're gonna be, right? We'll just go ahead and stick with Geddes.
You said 367?
Yeah. The corner should have 367.
Okay.
He's the police officer, you said?
Yeah.
Oh.
Shahata is cross-examining. All right, Shahata. Nikki, are you coming in to be Shahata? Nikki?
So Shahata cross-examining, then the police officer was the defense witness?
No, defense witnesses hasn't come up yet at all.
Okay, so what number on 367?
15.
Okay.
All right, yeah, I think we're ready now. Are we ready? People, good people? All right, it's going to start off with me. Everybody know their roles?
Yes, I'm Kenneth.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes, I'm Getty. Thank you, Spitfire. I greatly appreciate that. I love your commentary, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, good people. Let's see. Everybody's in a place. All right, we ready? Here we go, good people. Here we go. All right. I'm gonna start at 17. Are you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, the government calls Garrick Amschel.
Can you tell me the witness last name again?
Yes, it's Amschel, AMSCHL.
Where's our court deputy? We don't even have a court deputy. What the heck is going on here?
Raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Stevens?
I'm looking.
Steven, where
No,
you at?
Steven is Demetrius.
No, he's playing that right now.
Okay.
You said you do already, Stephen?
Hold up. You said hold up. Who you say I am? Am I wait, what page you on? Because you thought you said I was the police officer.
Yeah, that's his name.
Oh, hold up. What page you on? Show me. Tell me what page you on.
Page
368.
on the corner it says 368.
Number
What
5.
line?
5.
Okay. Okay, I do. I'm sorry.
Please have a seat. Oh, that's you. Oh, that's me. Please have a seat and state your name for the record.
Garrick M. Cole.
Gary M. Cole is called as a witness by the government, have been duly sworn, affirmed by the courtroom deputy, was examined and testified as follows.
What do you do for a living?
I am a police officer.
Where?
The village of Olympia Fields in Illinois.
How long have you been a police officer with the village of Olympia Fields?
About almost 24 years.
Can I interrupt you? I forgot to give my instruction. I'm sure there wouldn't be necessary, but I just want to remind you we have a court reporter that is taking down everything you say. Try not to talk over whoever is asking you questions. If there's a question that isn't clear, just let me know, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, go ahead.
What is your call sign with the Olympia Fields Police? And where
442.
and were you told to go somewhere?
Oh, what are you reading?
Oh,
Getty's.
hold on.
Getty's, you went on someplace else.
Yeah, I sure.
Okay. Okay, he said 4423. Go ahead.
What is a call sign? I probably should have started with that.
It's a radio design number. Designated number, I'm sorry. Designated.
I'd like to direct your attention to June 13th of 2009. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
Do you recall what shift you were working that day?
Afternoons.
And what are the hours of the afternoon shift?
4 o'clock to midnight.
I want to direct your attention to 10:53, approximately 10:53 p.m. that evening.
I was dispatched to a call.
Wait a minute, y'all.
What did you do that evening?
Go ahead.
I was dispatched to. What's wrong? I was dispatched to a call. It was assigned. It was an assist. What I said.
I was dispatched to a call for another agency.
For another. I'm sorry. For Country Club Hills Police Department looking for a missing juvenile.
Slow down a little.
I was dispatched to a call for another agency. It was for Country Club Hills Police Department, also in Illinois, for a missing juvenile.
And you indicated that you were dispatched to a call. What does that mean?
Meaning I received a call over the radio.
It's still you, T. Stevens.
That's me? Where? Oh, no.
That's you.
No, that's you.
That's you.
Oh, that's Garrett. Oh,
no.
He already said, what does that mean?
Yeah, I got it now. I'm all confused. And were you told to go somewhere?
Yes.
Where were you told to go?
Windmar's Lane.
Is that also in Olympia Fields?
Yes, it is.
I'm showing the witness what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 502A. Do you recognize what's shown in 502A?
I do.
What is that?
That is the front gate of One Morris Lane in Olympia Fields.
And is that the location where you were dispatched to on June 13th of 2009?
It is.
And you testified that you were going to look for a missing juvenile. Did you learn the name of the individual who you were going to look for?
Dominique.
And I'm showing the witness and the jury only what's in evidence as government's exhibit 69A on A-point Underneath the photo shown in 69A, is that the name of the Dominique that you were, who was listed as the missing juvenile?
It is.
Do you recall what happened when you responded to 1 Merrill's Lane?
I was met by security.
And what happened when you were met by security?
Security referred me to a phone call for a business manager for Mr. Kelly.
And by Mr. Kelly, who are you referring to?
Robert Sylvester Kelly.
What was Robert Sylvester Kelly's association with 1 Merrill's Lane?
He was the owner of the residence.
And you testified that someone as security referred you to the business manager. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you learn the name of the business manager?
I did not.
Did you learn the telephone number of the business manager?
I did.
As you sit here today, do you recall that telephone number?
I do not.
I am showing the witness what's been marked for identification as Government Exhibit 35-GA1. And I am showing you page 4 of that. Does that reflect your recollection as to the telephone number for the business manager?
It does.
What was the telephone number?
312-659-1040.
Did you have an opportunity to speak with the business manager after security referred you to him?
I did.
What happened?
The business manager advised the juvenile was 17 and that he had asked for her to leave the prior week.
What, if anything, did the business manager say about Mr. Kelly? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Objection.
Let me rephrase. Withdraw the question. Did you have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Kelly that day?
No.
What, if anything, now I'm going back to my question. What, if anything, did Mr. Kelly's business manager, the business manager that you spoke with, say about Mr. Kelly?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain.
And before,
Sustain.
Your Honor, may we have a brief sidebar on that?
Okay.
Your Honor, the business manager is an employee of Mr. Kelly's. He was operating in his capacity as the business manager for the defendant, and the government's position is that a statement of an employee as part of his,
The enterprise?
excuse me?
Is it part of the enterprise? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I think it's in addition to that. It's a co-conspirator statement, but I don't think you even have to get there because under 801, it's also a statement of an employee. He was working as the business manager and he was answering that phone call in that capacity as the business manager. And it's an employee, like a statement as an agent of the defendant.
What's the statement? I don't know what it is.
It's going to say that
Where's Farinella? Hello?
We don't know the statement. There's also the foundation.
How do you not know the statement? Ooh.
Can I just say what the statement is?
I just read some stuff in Discovery, so it's definitely there.
Right. No, I mean he's relates what the conversation was. Mr. Kelly admitted that he had not seen her. He spoke with Mr. Kelly, who advised him he had previous contact. And why it's relevant is because I want to establish that the defendant was aware that the police officers went to 1 Merrill's Lane to search for Dominique, to corroborate that Miss Pace just testified about.
Do you object?
I'll be fair enough.
Okay.
Now,
Go ahead.
well, the only issue is that the foundation as to who was the officer was speaking to. We only have a phone number. There's been no link up to the phone number as to who the business manager is. As throughout the discovery, there are a number of different business managers. So there's no specific delineation as to who he was on the phone with.
Can you tell him who it was? Do you know who it was?
Yes, I do. It's Darrell McDavid, and there's already been testimony about Darrell McDavid in his role.
I think that clears it up. Okay, great. Go ahead.
What, if anything, did the business manager to whom you spoke say about Robert Kelly?
I'm not quite sure I understand that question. That he had spoken to Mr. Kelly and advised that she had not been seen or had contact with the juvenile.
Who said that they had spoken to Mr. Kelly?
The business manager.
So yes, so the business manager, you testified that the business manager told you that he had spoken with Mr. Kelly. And what did he say Mr. Kelly said?
That he learned last week, the previous week, that the juvenile was 17 and that he had asked her to leave.
And just to be clear, who said that he learned last week that the individual you identified as Dominique had been found last week was 17 years of age and was asked to leave?
The business manager.
And what did the business manager say about Mr. Kelly?
That he had not had contact with her since that time.
That Mr. Kelly had not had contact with Dominique since that time. Is that correct?
Correct.
Objection.
Overruled.
Nothing further.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, this is by Mr. Farinella. Good afternoon, officer.
Good afternoon, sir.
So the government has shown you what's been marked as Exhibit 3500 GA1, and that consists of the report that you prepared that day, correct?
It's not actually not technical police report. It's the CAD notes, the computer-aided dispatch notes, the calls that we generate.
Okay, and in those notes, it does indicate, and you prepare these notes, right?
Those notes were probably prepared via radio by the dispatcher. The dispatcher typed them into a computer as dictated.
Okay, but the source is you. But the source is you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, but the source is you.
Okay.
Correct.
Oh, correct.
Okay, thank you. Now I'll point to you to page, I apologize, page 4 of the report.
Is there a number on it? on the 3500 material?
Yes, government's 3500 GA1.
Oh, all right. Do you want him to look at it?
Yes.
Can we put that up? I guess your side should be doing it, but do you mind putting it up?
Sure.
Thanks.
Page 47.
Page 4.
Page 4. I'm sorry.
Yes, please. So on page 4, it's just that you indicate that you received a call regarding Dominique, but found out last week she was. Forgive me, I apologize.
Just slow down a little bit, please.
Okay.
Thanks. And do you want this displayed to everyone?
It's not in evidence.
It's not in evidence. Okay.
So in the report, it doesn't indicate that you had requested any additional investigation in the matter, right?
That's correct.
And you didn't request any search warrants with regards to that particular complaint, correct?
That's correct.
And it's a fact that this complaint came from the person that you were looking for's mother, right?
It actually came from Country Club Hills Police Department. Was the request? They requested us to initiate the contact.
So isn't it a fact that when you were concluded with Mr. Kelly's business manager, you at that point left the scene?
That's correct.
And it was at that point you determined that there was no further investigation required.
It was referred to Country Club Hills for their follow-up. It was their case initially.
But in terms of the initial immediacy, or you closed it out for your perspective.
That's correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
Judge. Judge. Okay, any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm saying I'm Okay, talking. thank I you was so muted. much.
I was
can
muted. I'm talking to her. She's like, Judge.
Number 6.
Good. You said it already.
Okay. Do you have another witness to call?
Are you going to be Shahata?
Yeah, you be Shahata.
Yes, Your Honor. The government calls Chris McGrath.
Court
Oh.
deputy.
Chris
Raise your
McGrath
right hand.
Loyalty. Hold on a second. Let's see where his butt at. That's who he was supposed to be. Hold on a second. Hold on, y'all. I'm waiting for loyalty.
Loyalty doing on back those shady deals.
I ain't no thief, but I'll take some shit. I was in New York, my fucking family need food. Shit. Fuck 'em.
Okay, where's Dom?
So
Dom not coming in today?
I tried the car, and it was like Christmas that day.
It was like crap.
Okay. Can we get a fella to come up in here? Because we got a lot of male parts here today.
Oh boy, that's crazy. That damn Demetrius a character.
Okay, we can't get a male in, so we're just gonna improvise, guys.
Okay. I do deputy.
Because I ain't doing nothing but Nicole, so I do the deputy.
Okay, go ahead, do the deputy.
Raise your right hand for me, please. Stand.
Go ahead, Lola. Lola, you're gonna be that. Okay, but you already have somebody already.
Yeah.
This
Go
another
ahead, do
witness.
it.
Want me to be him? He's another witness.
Yeah, that's Chris. You could be Chris McGrath until it's time for you.
Oh.
Yeah, you be the witness. All right.
Oh, okay. Oh, stand. Okay.
Okay, you understand? Okay. So he gonna be the witness?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
be the witness.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the answers you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. State your name for the record.
Chris McGrath.
Thank you. You may be seated. Judge,
You're supposed to be the judge. You said you're gonna be the judge.
I thought you was coming back to be the judge. Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna be a Shahata then. Okay, I'm back to be the judge. Okay. Okay. You can remove your mask and a couple of things regarding your testimony. The court reporter takes down everything that witnesses say. So if you could make sure you don't speak too quickly, and then if you could also just wait until whoever is asking you the question finishes before you start the answer. That way we're not talking over one another, and it doesn't make the court reporter's job too hard. And finally, if you don't understand a question or want to have it repeated, just let me know, okay?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Is the witness microphone working? Tap it. Just tap it. Yes, speak into it.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Witness?
Testing.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Chris McGarth, MD, called as a witness by the government, having seen duly sworn, affirmed by the court deputy, was examined and testified as follows. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Did you receive a subpoena to testify here today?
Yes, I did.
Judge!
Hold on. I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up too, and you use the microphone.
I'm sorry. Did you receive a subpoena to testify here today?
Yes, I did.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, I am.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a physician.
What kind of physician are you?
Internal medicine and allergy and yeah, I don't know.
Immunology.
Yeah, immunology. Yeah, that's it.
Where do you practice? Where do you practice? Where do you practice?
Chicago, Illinois.
I am showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 1. Do you recognize the person in this photograph?
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
Robert Kelly.
Do you personally know Robert Kelly?
Yes, I do.
In what capacity?
As his physician.
Do you know him in any other ways as well?
Socially.
Do you see Robert Kelly in the courtroom here today?
Yes, I do.
Can you point him out and indicate and identify him by an item of clothing that he is wearing?
The man over there in the blue suit and blue tie.
Okay, indicating the defendant.
Now, you indicated you were his primary care physician, correct?
Correct.
Can you briefly describe your medical training to the jury?
I trained in internal medicine, which is a 3-year program at the medical school, internal medicine regency. Oh shit, let me go down. That was followed by a 2-year allergy immunology fellowship. Both were at Northwestern University, preceded by medical school at the University of Iowa. I'm sorry, I thought I was done.
And do you practice in both internal medicine and allergy and immunology?
Yes, I do.
And are you board certified?
Yes, I am.
In both of those specialties?
Yes, I am. Both specialties.
Generally speaking, what is internal medicine?
It's prime care with the knowledge studied also in the subspecialties of internal medicine, such as allergies, I keep on saying immunology, infectious disease, and y'all got me saying these hard ass motherfucking words. What's this?
Endocrinology.
Endocrinology, and gastroenterology, cardiology, and others.
Well, the person that's supposed to be playing it, he's coming in. He was just late. He's coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get a part.
And does that include diagnosing sexually transmitted diseases,
It does. Yes, it does.
including herpes?
Yes, it does.
Now, following your medical training, did you open a practice or did you buy a practice?
Yes, I bought a practice.
And around when that was?
1984 June.
And where was this practice located?
The practice was originally at 100 East Ohio from 1984 to 1988. And then in 1988, I moved the practice about 4 blocks away to 500 North Michigan Avenue.
And is all that in Chicago, Illinois?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And do you still practice at 500 North Michigan Avenue?
Yes, I do.
Aside from medical practice, do you hold any other positions?
Yes, I also have a teaching faculty position at Northwestern University Medical School. That's professor of medicine, where I work with allergy and humanology fellows, residents, and medical students at Northwestern Medical School.
I'm showing you the witness only what's marked in identification as Government Exhibit 48. Is this just a photo of you, Dr. McGraw?
Yes, it is.
I move to admit Government Exhibit 48.
Sylvia, can I get a part? This travel.
Oh, okay, you can be the court then, because she got another part.
Okay, well, Sylvia got to keep up with it because I don't have the transcript.
Huh?
See,
So
who's
what happened to the world? Send me your email. I send it to you.
okay.
Okay, are you going to be the court again, Sylvia?
You want me to message it to you on the phone, Sylvia?
Yes.
I guess we sidebarring, y'all.
Yeah, that would be sidebar.
Hold on a second. I hit the thing by mistake when I was trying to let someone in.
We need a shahada too. I think. Oh well, I don't know.
I just texted.
She could be
Text it to
Shahada.
you.
She could be Shahada.
Yo,
Dom is finally here. He finally here.
my bad, y'all. My bad.
Okay, so who? Okay,
No, Dom, you're gonna be you gotta be y'all two gotta be attorneys. What's the name's coming in to be that part?
Ooh.
He's loyalty. He's coming in. I want you and what's name to be the attorneys. Because y'all do better parts of the attorneys. And Spin 5 be attorney. Hold on. Where's her did you email me, young lady?
I
World, did
texted
you email me?
I texted to you.
No, I need you to email me. Because I'm gonna
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry guys, we're sorry. Sidebar.
I can be Shahada if you want me to.
What attorney, Sylvia? What attorney are available?
We got what's the name? Farinella was talking and we had to take him and be Farinella.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Whatever is needed is fine. The only problem is I need you to put it on the screen though.
You too? Oh my God, y'all with this.
Yeah.
Y'all just like. I'm waiting for your email.
Okay, here it comes right now. Yeah, move. Okay.
Sorry guys, we have unpreparedness today. I'm waiting.
I think I said the wrong thing.
Oh my God.
Let me see.
Okay. Sorry guys, I apologize.
Did you get a chance to talk to the two lawyers tonight?
Huh?
Did you get a chance to talk to the two lawyers tonight? Did you do that live?
We had 3 lawyers.
3 lawyers?
I
I had to go back and watch the replay.
You missed it, young man.
Okay.
All right, young lady, you should have your thing right now. I just sent it. All right, sorry guys. I apologize for the delay. And Dom come in here half done. So we will resume right now, and we are at
what page?
I think we're on 380.
We are 178, and we're on line 21.
Okay.
We're on 386.
178.
We're on page 178, line 21.
No,
but it's also 386.
Okay. So I'm gonna play Farinella and then is Loyalty here or no?
Hold on, was he here? Loyalty, are you here now?
I was just gonna say I could play his part until he gets here.
Yeah, play his part until he gets here because he's. All right, sorry about that, guys. We're back to.
Okay, I move to add Government Exhibit 48.
What page we on?
No, Nicole, you back to Nicole.
Okay.
She's Sahata.
Okay.
What page we on?
380.
178 page 21. I mean line 21.
But she in the corner it says 386. You gotta make sure it ain't the
Okay. Oh yeah, in the corner say 386.
376.
376.
No, 386. Sorry, 386. He's right. Are you ready?
Wait just a moment.
Sorry, everybody. Please be patient with us.
okay.
We'll be a little bit more organized tomorrow.
What's good, T.
Okay.
Steven? What's good,
Ain't no
bro?
thief, but I'll take some shit. Ain't no thief, but I'll take some shit.
Stupid. What's going on, man?
Are we ready, young lady?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go ahead on night shift, guys. I'm talking about Travel World right now. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So what part am I reading?
Miss Shahata.
Okay.
You're you're 21, line 21.
Okay. I move to admit Government Exhibit 48.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right. That's in evidence.
Now, for how long were you defendant primary care physician?
Approximately 25
Pro-
years.
Oh, that's
Dom.
And approximately when did you first meet the defendant?
1994.
And how did you meet him?
I was asked to see him by his accountant, Daryl McDavid, as a
Wow.
favor.
And how did you meet Daryl McDavid at the time?
He
Wow.
was an internal medicine patient.
Eh, Okay. I am showing what it's in evidence. Oh, I am showing what the witness only what's been marked for identification is government exhibit 12. Do you recognize the person in this photograph?
Yes, I do.
Who do you recognize it to be?
Daryl McDavid.
Keep going.
Who's gonna be Miss Shahada?
That's her.
That's you.
What line is that? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Daryl McDavid. Okay, now, no.
19.
Okay.
19.
I move to admit government exhibit 12.
No objection, Judge.
Okay, that's in evidence.
May we publish it
Yes.
to the jury, please? Thank you. Now, at at some point, did you receive a subpoena from the government for the defendant's medical records?
Yes, I did.
And what, if anything, did you do after receiving the subpoena?
I called an attorney and had them copied and numbered.
And you had the
And,
records copied and numbered?
and where those records where
It's him, the witness.
Yes,
The witness.
yes, I had the records copied and numbered.
and were those records then provided to the government?
Yes, they were.
And what kind of records did you provide the government with?
The original paper records, pre electronic records. So, from about 1994 to 2011 was paper records, and then the rest are electronic generated records from 2011 to present.
So is it fair to say a record of both your paper file, which respect to the defendant, as well as electronic records?
That's correct.
And how were those records filed, maintained at your office?
In a secure medical files drawers.
For the paper records, you mean?
Dom.
For the paper records, and the rest are through e-clinical work. So, electronic health records.
And were those records kept in a regular course of business?
Yes, they were.
And as regular practice of your business?
Yes, as a regular practice of my business.
I am showing the witness only what's been marked for identification as government exhibit 237. Prior to your testimony here today, did you have any opportunity to review the government's exhibit 237?
Yes, I did.
And does it consist of portions of medical records for the defendant that you provided to the government?
Yes, it does.
I move to admit government exhibit 237.
Any objection?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Now, based on your prior review of government exhibit 237, does it include records from both hard copy, your hard copy file, as well as electronic records that your office maintain in printout format?
Yes, it does.
Now, approximately when did your office begin using electronic records
In
keeping?
March of 2011.
And once you switched to electronic records, did you see that record keeping systems exclusively for patient records?
Yes.
All right. Now I'd like to focus on the time prior the time period before March 2011, before the switch of electronic record keeping. In that time period, what were your methods used to issue prescriptions for your patients?
Handwritten prescriptions or telephone call in prescriptions.
And when you say telephone call-in prescription, who would be calling?
I would call, well, the pharmacy. Sorry.
And in those circumstances, were you wait a minute? In those circumstances, were you be called the pharmacy? What information did you have to provide the pharmacy?
The patient's name, date of birth, medications, quantity, dose of the medications, refills, and a signature if it was a written, otherwise, just a verbal over the phone.
Now, in your paper records, did you keep a record of each time you called in a prescription for the patient,
No, I did not.
and why not?
It was just the standard of practice at the time that you would not write a note every time you called in a prescription.
Now, in your medical practice, do sometimes do you sometimes receive phone calls from patients?
Yes.
And prior to moving to your electronic system in 2011, did you always create a paper record of such phone calls?
Not every time, sometimes.
No. Turning to when you switched to electronic record keeping in March 2011, what, if any, ways were you able to issue prescriptions to your patients at, at that time, after that time?
After that time, they would be done electronically through opening a telephone encounter. And then you put in the name of the medicine, the dose, all the specifics, and then you would hit send and it would go to the pharmacy.
And could you also still at that time, in add in addition to that, call in prescriptions?
You could also, yes, call in prescriptions also.
And did you in fact do both in your practice?
Yes, I did both.
All right. Now going back to Government Exhibit 237, do you see the first page of the exhibit on your screen?
Yes, I do.
And can you explain to the jury what type of record that is? First page.
It's a written medical record of an encounter, or excuse me, it's a written medical record of an encounter or progress note on patient Robert Kelly, dated September 12th, 1994.
And is this your handwriting on the page?
Yes, that's my handwriting.
Now, redirecting your attention to the first entry on the page, had you met the defendant before that date?
No, I had not.
So, was this your first time meeting him?
Yes, it was.
And when you in your practice would meet a patient for the first time, what is your practice as to the first meeting? What do you do?
The first meeting, you take a history first while they're there. That's the history of present illness, preceded, preceded by the chief concern or chief complaint, followed by past medical history, past surgical history, family medical history, review of systems, assessment and plan, plus or minus some laboratory or imaging or testing results.
Now I want to redirect your attention to the first line on the page. What what is what is indicated there?
27, black male, singer.
And was the defendant 27 years old when the first time he came to see you?
Yes.
Now, I want to go down to the fourth line. What is indicated there?
Concerned about chlamydia. No genital urinary symptoms.
All right. I'd like to direct your attention to the middle of the page where there are some numbers written. What's that refer to?
That's his weight. 193 pounds, height 6 foot 1 inches. Inch.
Okay. And and does this record reflect whether you conducted a physical examination during the office visit with the defendant?
Yes, it does.
And what does it reflect? Wait a minute. Ouch. And what does it reflect in that regard? Did you do the physical exam?
Yes, it's under those two numbers. The skin exam, normal. Skeletal, lymphatic, head, ears, eyes, nose and throat, lungs, heart, abdomen, extremities, neurological, and genital urinary.
And did you order any tests related to the sexual transmitted disease following your physical exam?
Yes, I did.
And what test did you order?
The tests I ordered were a chemistry, which is generally kidney and liver, a blood count to screen for like anemia and leukemia, and then a chlamydia test and syphilis test.
So those last two are related STDs.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Now I'm turning to page 8 of the exhibit. Do you recognize the type of document this is?
This is a lab result.
And do you see where it says drawn date and time?
Yes.
What date is listed there?
September 13th, 1994.
All right. Now, going back to the first page, you had indicated this date. This date here is is that September 12th or 13th of 1994? Now, having looked at the lab report.
I'd say it's September 13th, 1994.
According to this document, what were the results of those two STDs that you ordered on September 13th, 1994?
The two tests, chlamydia and syphilis tests, were negative.
All right. I'd like to now turn to page 2 of Government Exhibit 237. Is there an entry on this page for encounter with the defendant on January 23rd, 1995?
Yes, there is.
And what kind of encounter was this?
It's a progress note with the chief concern, examination, assessment, and plan.
And what was the chief concern on that visit?
Penile stinging, 1.5 days, no discharge, no partners, illness, no known drug allergies.
And can you tell from this record whether you examined the defendant that day?
It says exam and then declined rectal exam, penis. There was no discharge.
And what, if any, test did you order fooling fooling around? fooling following this exam. That's stupid.
I ordered a gonorrhea culture and a chlamydia test.
I'm going to direct your attention to page 11 of Government Exhibit 237. Does this indicate the result of those tests?
Yes, it is. T does. I guess yes, it does.
Okay. And what does indicate?
Positive growth of Neisseria gonorrhea, negative test for chlamydia and syphilis.
And so, what does that test result mean with respect to gonorrhea?
That he had gonorrhea, explaining his chief concern at that visit.
What is gonorrhea?
It's a sexually transmitted bacterial disease.
Is it curable?
It's curable.
Now, as we see in this exhibit, the lab issued this report on January 28, 1995, correct?
Correct.
I want to turn back to page 2 of Government Exhibit 237. Is there an encounter on this page from February 7th, 1995?
Yes, there is.
And what kind of encounter was that?
Progress note.
And what, if anything, happened during that encounter? Was that an in-person visit?
It was an in-person visit.
And what happened during that?
After talking to somebody, I can't make out that name. A patient came today and I treated him because of that result with an Z-Pack and a shot of ceftriaxone, 250 milligrams intramuscularly, and educated the patient to tell partners and to practice safe sex.
And is that indicated over here?
Yes.
And what does that mean? Advise the patients to tell partners and recommend safe sex.
With sexually transmitted diseases, you have to educate the patient, make sure you treat the patient, and have the patient inform any sexual contacts that they should be seen and treated.
Meaning sexual partners.
Yeah, sexual partners.
And why did you advise the defendant in that manner?
Because I just diagnosed him with gonorrhea.
Hmm. Is that your regular practice when you tell patients that he or she has an STD?
Yes, that's my regular practice.
And by STD, you mean sexually transmitted disease.
Sexually transmitted diseases, correct.
Hmm. Has it always been your regular practice?
It has always been and is my regular practice.
Hmm. Well, I'd like to direct your attention to page 3 of the exhibit. What reflects from the encounter on May 1st, 1996?
It's a progress note. Visit. Do you want me to proceed?
Sure.
Chief concern is penile purulent drip, 2 days, declines cultures, etc. for privacy.
Yeah. And what cultures did you want to run at that point?
I would only have to take an educated or retrospective guess. Chlamydia.
Ms.
Nicole,
Becker?
I would object.
make sure you have the microphone on and you can take your mask off. Otherwise, I can't hear you. Are you objecting?
Yes.
When you say you have an educated guess, are you talking about your usual practice or do you know what happened next?
It would be my usual practice to repeat what I just did in the previous visits.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Would those be testing for STDs?
Yes, it would.
And that involves cultures, is that correct?
Gonorrhea culture, chlamydia, and whatever else I would have thought of at that time.
And your notes indicate that the defendant, declined for privacy reasons, correct?
That's correct.
Now, is there another entry on this page for October 29th? Well, what date is that entry for?
October 29th, 1988.
88 or 80 or 90, 98?
I'm sorry, 98.
And what does that indicate?
Chief concern was sore tip of the penis within 24 hours. Episodic, no discharge, exam negative, impression, urethritis. And I drew the arrow pointing to the treatment above, which is I think was a treatment I gave on May 1, 1996.
So the the same treatment.
I think the treatments for both those visits.
And what was that treatment for?
Most causes of urethritis, most likely. Treat chlamydia and gonorrhea.
Now, I'm going to direct your attention to page 162 of Government's Exhibit 237. Was there an office visit by the defendant on that date?
Yes, there was.
And what is the date indicated?
June 5, 2000.
And what was the complaint? What was the complaint on that date?
The complaint was irritated penis Saturday evening. Progressed into swelling of the head of penis and red bumps. Itched. Preceded by several hours before wore leather pants. They were black, tight around the waist, without underwear for a photo shoot. No dysuria, that's burning on urination. No hematuria, that's blood in the urine. No frequency of urination, otherwise feels well.
Hmm. I'm just going to stop for a moment. That portion that you read, is that what the defendant, Mr. Kelly, reported to you on your visit, on that visit?
And right, it's what he reported and then what I asked for pertinent positives or negatives.
And did you conduct an examination during that visit?
Yes, there was an examination.
And what does your notes reflect regarding that?
It says exam glands penis. That's the head of penis. Very small vesicles. Those are very small blisters.
And what else is reflected on your notes for that visit?
My impression and plan.
And what was that?
My impression was either contact dermatitis from the black eye in the leather, or leather components, or herpes simplex virus.
Hmm. Is is that what's known as a differential diagnosis?
That is correct. A differential diagnosis for this visit.
And what does that mean?
That means the possibilities based on the history and the exam.
And you mentioned contact dermatitis. What is that?
That's a skin reaction most common in the community, would be like poison ivy. I was wondering if it was from the dyes in the leather pants or the leather tanning agents causing it.
And what was the other possible diagnosis?
Herpes simplex virus or genital herpes.
And to be clear, was general herpes the type of herpes suspected the defendant had at the point based on your examination?
Correct.
And why did you suspect genital herpes as well? Why did you indicate genital herpes as one of the two diagnoses in your differential diagnosis?
They both were causes of vesicles or blisters or bumps.
And what is genital herpes?
A sexually transmitted disease caused by the herpes simplex virus, usually type 1 or it could be type 2.
And so genital herpes, it's an echo back there. And so genital herpes, I'm sorry, genital herpes is which type generally?
It's a viral illness caused by the herpes simplex virus. There's more than with your serotype. Most common is serotype 1. It could also be, most commonly, it's type 2 and could also be type 1.
Okay. So just to be clear, most commonly it's type 2. Is that correct?
I believe it's type 2. I could be wrong on that at this moment.
Everybody
All
mute
right.
because I do hear the echo.
I'm muting every time I finish.
No, because everybody you mute, please. Spitting fire, could you mute?
Muted.
Oh, you muted? Okay.
Muted through my own microphone, not through Stream Yard.
Okay, go ahead. Where did she go?
Okay.
She disappeared? Okay, then go
60.
ahead.
No, I'm here. I'm here. All right. Now it's still doing it. All right. Now, what if any test did you order at this visit,
The herpes simplex virus culture.
and why did you do that?
Because I suspected herpes simplex causing the irritated penis that progressed into swelling of the head of the penis with red bumps and a physical exam of small vesicles.
And as as we just went over, prior to that date, you had previously diagnosed the defendant with an STD, correct?
Correct.
Gonorrhea specifically, correct?
Correct. Gonorrhea.
Now, is genital herpes curable?
It is not curable. It can go in remission, but generally not curable.
Now, you indicated that you ordered or that you conducted a herpes culture. Is that right?
That's right.
And could you explain to the jury what that is, what that means?
It's where you take like a cotton tip swab the lesions on the penis, and then put it into a culture media. The results can vary. If you don't get it at the right time, you can get a false negative. I like to catch it early so you get a positive culture.
So, just to explain a little bit more about what what that means, is timing very important for herpes virus culture?
Timing is very important for herpes virus culture
Could you explain why this is?
because it goes through its changes of the skin from the watery blisters with a red base to the drying blisters and the flaking of the blisters. They're not shedding the virus. The virus is absent by then. The viruses are usually present at the beginning of lesions, and even then, you might get a negative culture.
Hmm. And does the negative herpes culture mean you don't have herpes?
No, it doesn't mean you don't have herpes. You may not have captured it. It's a total clinical presentation of the history, the exam, and then in the future response to treatment, which helps you confirm the diagnosis. You don't always get a positive culture.
Hmm. And so how is that you as a doctor diagnose herpes? I think you think you were just alluding to it. What fact what factors do you look at? I'm sorry.
Over time, if a patient has recurrent skin lesions or penis lesions of the same nature, and then it responds to treatment, then it's genital herpes.
Now I'm going to show you page 20 of Government Exhibit 237. What is this record?
It's a lab result from June 5th, 2000, herpes simplex culture. The result was negative.
Yay! Okay. And did this result come in on June 7th, 2000?
Yes, it did. It came in on June 7th, 2000.
And what, if anything, did you conclude from that negative result of herpes culture?
That it was not conclusive and that we had to follow this clinical course to see if he called or reported any more future bumps or penis lesions, and then try treatment and see if it responds to treatment either intermittently or long term.
So fair to say, you did not conclude that the defendant did 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 not have herpes based on in this test.
I did not conclude that he did not have herpes. He still could have herpes.
Now, given the uncertainty of the negative culture result that that you testified about as a doctor, what if any practice do you have regarding advising your patients regarding such result if they exhibit herpes symptoms?
Well, if it's pretty possibly herpes or could be herpes, I, once again, advise the patient to seek medical help when the lesions occur or advise. Inform sexual partners of potential herpes, save sex, use a condom. Inform your sexual partners so they could make a decision whether or not to have sex with you or not.
Hey, Dom.
What's that?
According to this, he didn't have it because remember he had
Don't
a
into that, Sylvia. I'm not getting into
huh?
that.
Huh?
I'm not gonna get into that.
It just said it. It did the culture.
Okay.
Okay. And is that something you did with the defendant?
Eventually, is that something? Excuse me. Eventually, I came to the conclusion he had herpes simplex with recurrent calls or complaints about bumps, and he did respond to herpes treatment when they became more common. I recommend regular treatment instead of intermittent treatment.
So after this initial visit in 2000, did you in fact hear from the defendant again regarding the same type of symptoms?
At some point, because I began prescribing valacyclovir, the treatment for herpes. I do recall him making a comment once I educated him on safe sex. Quote, then I should not put it in raw. I should put a hood on it. End quote.
That's what the defendant said to you?
At one point, and I said, yes, you should use a condom.
What did you understand him to mean? I should put what did he say? I shouldn't put it in raw.
That he should have protection on his penis, should not be just uncovered.
And what did you understand him be referring when he used that term, a hood?
A condom.
And this was after you diagnosed the defendant with herpes.
At some point over the years from June 5th, 2000.
One moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
And doctor, just to be clear, when you were advised the defendant to put on a condom, that was during the purpose of engaging in sexual activity, correct?
I don't know what other reason you put a condom on for. I'm sorry.
Just so we're clear.
I guess we're clear.
Now, you testified that you began treating the defendant in 1994 and continued to treat him for approximately 25 years, correct?
Correct.
And I believe you also testified that at some point you concluded the defendant had contracted genital herpes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
Over time, complaints that the patient had concerns about the bumps and that at times the medicine would help. So he would call and request a prescription for what he called, quote, the blue pill.
And what did you understand the defendant to mean when he asked you for the blue pill?
To treat him for genital herpes.
What, if any, well, how did you in your practice treat defendant genital herpes?
Well, initially, as I recall, intermittently until in general, the rule is if it occurs more than 3 times in a year, you should be taking medicine every day, a pill a day, to reduce shedding and reduce the risk, but not eliminate the risk of spreading it to someone else. But you can reduce the risk by taking medicine every day instead of as needed.
And when you say as needed, what are you referring to?
As needed for outbreaks. Like if you just have one outbreak a year or two outbreaks a year, that would be appropriate. But if it's more than three, the rule is, in general, to start them on a daily pill to perhaps more, not have any more outbreaks, reduce the viral shedding.
And in your time as the defendant's doctor, did there come a time where the defendant had more than 3 outbreaks in a year?
Well, I can only assume based on me insisting on taking it once a day and prescribing him at a month at a time with a year of refills to reduce phone calls and to encourage regular treatment.
And so you did, in fact, prescribe the defendant with a medication to treat genital herpes for 12 month supply.
Yeah, the phone calls seem to be frequent for the blue pill. So I would encourage one a day, 30 pills instead of a 5-day treatment course or 10-day treatment course.
Now, I think you mentioned the medication Valtrex.
It's an antiviral agent, valacyclovir.
Is valacyclovir the the generic name for the drug?
Yes, it's the generic name.
Is Valtrex the brand name?
That's correct.
After you first prescribed Valtrex or valacyclovir to the defendant, how did you suspend to the treatment?
It would make the bumps go away.
Okay, it would help with the outbreaks.
Yes, it would.
Did you prescribe Valtrex or its generic version to defend it multiple times?
Yes, I did.
After you first prescribed Valtrex or its generic version to him, did the defendant continue to ask you for a prescription for him?
Yes, he did.
And how did he do so?
It was a phone call, usually from one of his employees, most commonly from a man named June Brown.
Did he also sometimes call you himself?
He would call himself, yes.
Now you mentioned, well, I'm going to show the witness only what has been marked for identification as exhibit 3. Do you recognize this person?
Yes, I do.
Who did you recognize it to be?
June Brown.
And have you met June Brown personally?
Yes,
Is that a fair and accurate photo of him?
it's a fair and accurate photo of him.
I move to admit government exhibit 3.
No objection.
Court,
Sue,
In evidence. Sorry, I kept saying talking.
and may we publish it?
Yes.
And who did you understand June Brown to be with respect to the defendant?
an employee of Mr. Kelly.
Now, sitting here today, do you recall the exact date that you came uh, to the conclusion that the defendant had genital herpes?
No, I cannot come to the conclusion about the exact date.
Based on your review of Government Exhibit 237 prior to the testimony here today, is it fair to say that Government Exhibit 237 include multiple records indicating that you had reached such con- such conclusion in the past history?
Yes, in the
Oh,
electronic medical records.
I'm sorry. Okay. And again, you made that switched to electronic records in 2011, right?
Correct.
Okay. I want to show you page 124 of Government Exhibit 237. What is the date of this report?
The date is December 9, 2011.
And what, if anything, does this record reference regarding herpes?
Herpes is in the past medical history as also along with the current assessments.
And what, if any, treatment plan is indicated here?
Continue Valtrex 500 milligram, 1 tablet orally once a day.
And does it also indicate that at at this time, or what, if any, if anything, does it indicate about what medication the defendant was currently taking at that time?
The current medication was Valtrex 500 milligrams, 1 tablet once a day.
And again, the Valtrex was prescribed to treat genital herpes.
That is correct.
And what is indicate under history of present illness?
The reason why he was at the office, the reason why he was at the office, I had asked him to come in to register since the office changed to electronic medical records. At the time, I also asked him to have a well adult exam, review of systems, examinations, screening labs, and a flu shot, and he declined.
All right. So EMR, that's the switch.
Electronic medical record.
Hmm. Just for the court reporter, let's make sure we're not talking at the same time, okay? Now you indicated that at a certain point uh you changed the way you were prescribing Valtrex to the defendant, correct?
Yes, that's true.
And did you explain why you were doing so to the defendant?
I don't think I explained it to him, but it was a transition from less phone ins and more electronical prescriptions.
So explain what you mean by that.
Well, before electronic records, prescriptions were called in, not always recorded. Electronic medical records allow you to record more prescriptions unless it's at night or on a weekend or something where you don't have access to the system.
Did you indicate to the defendant that you were prescribing 11 refills at a time?
I frequently encouraged him to take it daily instead of as needed. So I frequently would prescribe 30 pills to encourage one a day with a year of refills to reduce requests for the pill and encourage him to stay on it long term.
And what, if any, based on your treatment of the defendant, what if any conclusion did you reach about whether he was in fact taking it every day, 12 months a year?
My conclusion from this one visit gives me the impression he was taking it once a day.
Did you ever reach a different conclusion?
Not that I can recall.
All right. I'm going to show you another page, okay? Before I go, get, wait a minute, before I get to that, going back to how you issued prescriptions for the defendant, would you both call in a pharmacy and issue uh electronic prescription for him?
Yes, that would occur.
And what was the main pharmacy that you called to issue the defendant's prescription?
Walgreens at 641 North Clark in Chicago.
Was there a name commonly used to refer to that Walgreens?
It was referred to the Rock and Roll McDonald's Walgreens.
Why was it referred to that?
It was a rock and roll theme to the McDonald's, and there was also a Hard Rock Cafe across the street. The Walgreens was across the street from those two rock and roll places.
Okay. Showing the witness only what has been marked for identification. It's it's government exhibit 520. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And what is depicted in this photograph?
It's a McDonald's, which was referred to as Rock and Roll McDonald's in Chicago.
And that is what the Rock and Roll McDonald's in Chicago looked like in the past.
That's how it looked like in the past, correct?
I move to admit government exhibit 520.
Any objection?
No objection.
Well, it's really a question. Is it the McDonald's? Okay. Okay, I'm
I'm
sorry.
in the wrong part. Hold on. What part we was at?
19.
Okay, it says, Judge, I simply asked for a date, if we could, please.
Well, it's really a question. Is it the McDonald's? Did it change or something?
It's since been torn down and rebuilt.
This is what it looked like when I guess before it was torn down and rebuilt.
Yes.
All right.
I move to admit it, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. May we publish it?
Yes.
Where was the Walgreens at 641 North Clark in relations to this Rock and Roll McDonald's?
To the left and behind the street, Kitty Corner. I believe there is another restaurant across, directly across Kitty Corner.
Did that Walgreens have did that Walgreens have any special features?
A drive-through was available at that Walgreens.
Among the prescriptions that you issued to the defendant at the Walgreens, was Valtrex included as one of those?
Yes, that was one frequently.
Over the years, how often did you issue a Valtrex prescription to the defendant at that Walgreens?
It was so often that I had memorized the phone number at that Walgreens since then.
Damn. Do you remember it now?
312-587-1416.
That's an easy number to remember.
Mhm. After you made the switch to electronic records in March 2011, did you also issue prescriptions electronically for the defendant to the Walgreens?
Yes, I did.
Did you also issue prescription uh, to the defendant at other pharmacies?
Yes, I did. Or yes, other pharmacy.
Is there a record in the medical records that you provided the government exhibit 237 of the first time you issued a prescription for Valtrex to the defendant to treat his genital herpes?
I'm not sure of the exact first prescription. I think the earliest.
I question Okay, the question I ask is there a record in government exhibit 237 of the first time you did so?
I cannot be sure if it's a yes or no.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, sure. I'm sorry.
Yes, sure.
It's okay with you. Okay. Go ahead.
Can you please take a look through the government exhibit 237
Yes.
and let me know when you've had a chance to do so?
Okay.
Does that refresh your recollection as to whether there is any record in the government exhibit 237 of the first time you issued a Valtrex prescription for the defendant?
Yes.
And what is the answer?
The earliest date I can see is December 8th, 2011.
That's a electronic record, correct?
That's electronic. Correct.
And as you testified previously, you called in Valtrex prescription for the defendant prior to switching electronic records, correct?
Right.
So does that refresh your recollection withdrawn? Are you are those called are those called in prescription prior to the switch of electronic recording include in the medical records that you provide to the government regarding the defendant?
No, they're not.
Why is that?
In general, and the written days called in prescriptions weren't recorded all the time.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I want to direct your attention to page 221 of the government exhibit 237. What is this document?
Telephone encounter dated August 15, 2012.
And what does it indicate?
Refill continue Valtrex 500 milligrams, 500 milligram once a day, 30 with 11 refills.
Is that what are is that what you are you referring to earliest about prescribing a year worth of Valtrex at a time?
To encourage regular treatment instead of episodic treatment.
That's from August 15, 2012.
Yes.
Again, this was to treat genital herpes.
That's correct.
I want to direct your attention to page 219 of uh, of the same exhibit. What is the date of this record?
December 26, 2012.
So a little over four months later.
Yes.
What what is indicated in this record?
Another refill for 30 days with 11 refills.
So another year long prescription.
Yes.
Just 4 months later.
Just 4 months later.
You indicated earlier that the defendant would sometimes uh, contact you and indicate bumps. And indicate bumps are back. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
What did you understand him to be referring to when he said the bumps are back?
That his genital herpes had acted up.
So bumps on his genitals.
Yes. Bumps on the genital.
Having just looked through each page of Exhibit 237, does it also include indications of prescribing Valtrex in 2015,
Yes.
2016,
Yes.
2017,
Yes.
2019?
Yes.
I'm showing only the witness, only what is marked for indication as government exhibit 402. Do you see this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
It's a prescription for Robert Kelly dated March 19th, 2007 for Valtrex 500 milligram tablets, quantity 60 with 3 refills before March 1, 2008.
Does it indicate who prescribed this medication to the defendant?
I prescribed the medication for the defendant.
I move to admit government exhibit 402. Nicole?
Oh, let me see. What line y'all on?
25.
25.
No objection.
That is in evidence.
May we publish it?
Yes.
You indicated this is a prescription for Valtrex 500 milligram tablets, correct?
That's correct.
I think I'm going to zoom in. Uh, the 3 refills is before 3/18/08, correct?
Correct.
And the date on the prescription is March 19, 2007, correct?
Correct.
And based on this record, is it your conclusion that you were already treating the defendant for genital herpes by March 1907?
Yes, that's my conclusion that I was treating him by March 19, 2007 for genital herpes.
In the course of your doctor-patient relationship with the defendant, uh, where did you conduct your examination of the defendant, or where did you treat him?
Most of the time,
Dom,
most of the time at the office, occasionally at his house or studio.
do you have another office or addresses ex- uh, associated with your medical practice?
Not with my private practice.
Is there another part of your practice?
I practice at Northwestern Clinic at a different address on Tuesdays.
What address is associated with a clinic that you practice at?
675 North St. Clair Street in Chicago, Illinois.
Are you familiar with the address 251 East Heron Street, Chicago, Illinois?
Same building around the corner. Yes.
The same building as your clinic?
Same building as the clinic.
You mentioned you sometimes treated the defendant as at his home or studio. Is that right?
That's correct.
I'm showing I'm showing you what is in evidence as government exhibit 502A. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
What is this?
The defendant's house that the defendant lived in at one time.
Is have you been is have you been to his house?
Yes, I have.
And where is it located?
Olympia Fields, Illinois.
Is that a suburb of Chicago?
Yes, it is.
What part of this residence have you been inside?
The entryway, the living room, the den, kitchen, side room, game room, the hallway, and the basement.
What, if any, is located in the basement?
Studio.
You mentioned that sometimes you treated the defendant at his studio. Was that the studio at Olympia Fields?
Yes.
Any other studio?
There's one on in the earlier days, Larrabee. Another one on Ohio Street, then one on Justine.
Showing the witness only what is marked identification as government exhibit 525Q. Do you recognize?
Yes, I do.
And what is in the photograph? And what is the photograph of?
Entrance to the studio on Larrabee.
That was the studio the defendant used.
Yes.
Did you personally go to the studio?
Yes.
Is it a fair and accurate photograph of what the studio looked like at that time you went?
Yes.
I moved to wait a minute. Could somebody take that real fast? I have to take this call.
Get Miss
I moved
Geddes.
to admit. I
Miss
moved to
Geddes.
admit. Because I was Shahada before her. I moved to admit government exhibit 525. No objection. Okay, you can go ahead.
All right, you can publish it.
I'm going to show the witness only what is marked identification as government exhibit 505A. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Do you recognize this to be the studio on Ohio Street?
Studio on Ohio Street.
Is this the studio you personally visit the defendant in?
Yes.
I move to admit government exhibit. No objection.
Sylvia.
Is it in?
You can publish it.
Thank you, Your Honor. On the occasion when you treated the defendant outside the office, what led you to do so?
I would get a call from usually one of his employees that Robert would need to be seen, occasionally from Robert himself.
And what did in fact go when you received these calls?
Majority of the times, yes.
And what time would you go?
Usually evening, 7 p.m. or later.
Did the course of the 25-year doctor-patient relationship with the defendant, did he have health insurance?
Yes, he did.
Did he pay for medical services using health insurance?
No, he did not.
Did he pay for your medical services at all?
No, he did not.
Over the course of 25-year relationship with the defendant, did you learn that he has a successful singing? He was a successful singer.
Yes, I did.
In addition to your relationship with the defendant as his doctor, what if other relationship did you have with the defendant?
Social relationship.
Can you describe the relationship to the jury?
My wife and I at times would go to his house for dinner, children's birthday party, or special parties at the house.
Did you also see the defendant socially at other locations?
Occasionally at a restaurant or one of his concerts.
How about at his studios?
We'd be invited to listen to music at his studio. That's correct.
You mentioned the parties you attended. Where did those take place?
The parties I recall were at the Olympia Fields house.
Did you attend the defendant's 57th birthday party?
52nd.
57th? I'm sorry.
That was attended.
Where did that take place?
Justine Studio.
When did you say Justine Studio? Are you referring to the street the studio was on?
Yes, the studio that is on Justine Street.
When did the 57th birthday party take place?
January 8th, 2019.
You and your wife attended that?
Yes.
Showing the witness only what is marked identification as Government Exhibit 503A, do you recognize that this display in the picture?
That's the building studio on Justine Street.
Is it fair and accurate photo of the building?
Yes, it is.
I move to admit Government Exhibit 503A. No objection.
Sylvia.
Sylvia.
I'm right here. I just okay. Move enter whatever.
Okay. Is this the studio where you attended the defendant's 57th birthday
Yes.
party?
Yes,
You had mentioned you also attended some defendant's concerts. Is that right?
that's right.
Approximately how many of the defendant's concerts have you attended over the years?
At least 10, perhaps 12.
So 10 to 12,
Yes.
approximately.
Yes.
Do you attend those concerts alone or with anyone else?
With my wife.
What, if any, relationship did your wife have with the defendant?
I'd call it a friendship or a mother-like friendship or a caring relationship.
What did most of the concerts that you and your wife take place?
Where the majority were in Chicago.
Did you ever travel to attend any other defendant's concerts?
Yes.
Where did those take place?
New York, just outside of St. Louis and St. Charles, Missouri, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Atlanta.
Did you attend a concert in Nashville?
In Nashville, yes.
Were the tickets to those concerts provided to you by the defendant for free?
Yes.
Who paid for your travel to those destinations?
He paid for it. Sometimes I
When you paid for it, where were the circumstances of that?
The St. Charles concert, I just paid for it on my own. 2 other times I went to check out at the desk and his employees hadn't made arrangements, so I just paid for it.
Had you been expecting it to be paid for?
I had been expecting it to be paid for, but it wasn't.
One moment, Your Honor. I want to show the witness only what is marked and identification as Government Exhibit 336A.
Okay, one second. I'm going to ask after this to find a convenient time to take a break.
Okay, I'm about to be done, Your Honor.
Great.
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, I
What do you recognize it to be?
picture of myself and Mr. Kelly.
I move to admit Government Exhibit 336A. No objection.
Okay, that's in the evidence.
May we publish it?
Yes. When I say it's in the evidence.
Sorry. Is that a display where I'm going on the right side?
Yes, that's me.
And is this the defendant?
Yes.
Looking at this photo, can you tell where it is taken?
I think a cigar bar.
When is the last time you were at the cigar bar with the defendant?
Sometime in 2019. I don't recall the exact date.
Let me see. Okay. How was it that you ended up at the cigar bar with the defendant?
I got a phone call from my wife to meet at a cigar bar.
What is your wife's name?
Jean.
Same last name as you?
Yes, Jean McGrath.
Fair to say that this is a social event.
Yes, fair to say.
When, if at all, did you stop being the defendant primary care physician?
In early 2019,
After the cigar bar or before?
whenever his apprehension occurred,
Sometime in 2019?
sometime in 2019.
When was the last time you had spoken to the defendant?
To the best of my recollection, that would have been at this gathering, social event.
At the cigar bar?
Yes.
No further questions.
I think we'll wait until tomorrow then.
A half hour, Judge?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Do you have a lot to do, or do you want to go tomorrow?
Half hour, Judge.
I think we'll wait till tomorrow then.
Can I just mention one thing, sidebar?
Uh,
I guess you just let him go. Okay. I
that's
just
you.
thought I just thought I mentioned this. I don't know if there's anything can be done. He is scheduled to be flying back at 7 a.m. tomorrow to get back to his medical practice. I don't know if it's possible if the jury is willing to stay longer.
Can you stay longer?
Yes. I just played the court
The
reporter.
only, you only have half an hour.
Can we strike that apprehension part that he said?
I guess we can. I think they figured out that he got apprehended. He's here.
I agree.
It's up to you. If you decide you want to highlight it, let me know. Let's go. Let's let it go for now.
Okay. I guess it's cross-examination now.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask your indulgence. Apparently, the witness has got to be out of town. I'm told that the cross examination isn't going to be long. So, if you bear with me, we'll finish the witness today. Anybody have a problem with that? All right. Go ahead, Miss Blank Becker.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, that's T. Stevens, ain't it? Or is it still you?
It's still him.
Okay. Dr. McGraw, my name is attorney Nicole Blank Becker.
Can you take your mask off?
My name is Nicole Blank Becker, and I'll be asking you a bunch of questions about the stuff that you had just spoken about, okay?
Okay.
Dr. McGraw, you indicated that you have been treating Mr. Kelly for about 25 years. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So you think you also indicated you start seeing him somewhere around 1994. Is that correct?
You skip. Oh no. That's correct. Sorry.
When the government was just going over with you, when was the first time that you were able to make some sort of the first time you had the impression that Mr. Kelly had potentially had herpes? I believe you indicated that it must have been sometime between starting December 8th, 2011. Does that sound right?
That sounds right until the other prescription was shown to me, which is 2007.
Yes, I apologize, right. And then there was one 2007. Okay. Prior to 2007. So we're talking, and I'm not that good at math, from 1994 to 2007. The medical records that were turned over, there was no notes or past history or anything in there that had anything to do with herpes, correct?
Correct.
Objection, misstates the evidence.
Well, you can ask, clear it up on redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Maybe there was a word herpes because maybe you will have to test for it.
You know, it is really much easier if you just put a question to the witness,
Don't make a long statement. Just ask him a question.
So when it comes to herpes, and it's obvious that that's a hot topic, there's herpes, and you started to talk about there's different ways to diagnose. There are two different kinds of, let's call it strains of herpes, correct?
There's different strains of herpes, correct?
And when you were talking earlier about trying to figure out which strain someone would have, you would have actually do a blood test. Is that correct?
At this time, contemporaneously, in 1994, we did not do a blood test,
And what did you do?
a culture,
And that's what we're describing earlier, correct?
correct?
Thank you. Now, in the medical records that we have, there's actually no positive cultures, correct?
Correct.
For
Someone has
herpes.
feedback, Sylvia. Go ahead.
For herpes, correct?
Correct.
And that covered the general herpes and or oral herpes, correct?
Correct.
And there were some discussions also about testing done for other venereal diseases, correct?
Correct.
And that there were a discussion, well, gonorrhea was one of the things that was tested for, correct?
Yes.
And syphilis as well.
Yes.
Now, are those bacterial infections?
Gonorrhea is a bacteria. Syphilis is not.
And how about herpes?
Herpes is a virus.
Not a bacterial infection then, correct?
Correct.
Do you remember what year the testing for herpes changed from cultural to the blood taking?
No, I do not know the exact year.
Sure, okay. Was it just a couple of years ago or was it a long time ago? Could you give us that?
I said I wasn't. I'm not sure.
No idea.
No idea.
Okay, got it. You mentioned earlier that you actually knew Walgreens' phone number by heart, correct?
That is correct.
And you have plenty of other patients that will get prescriptions from there as well. Is that correct?
Some patients would use that pharmacy.
Now, the words that you used in your medical notes regarding herpes was that it was your impression. Is that fair to say?
Assessment. That would be more. That would be more fair to say.
Okay. So in one of the records that the government has shown, it actually says is your impression. That doesn't ring a bell.
No, but the letter A in my notes is for assessment.
Objection.
Overruled.
I mean to you, does it mean the same thing?
I would need more time to think. They're pretty close.
All right.
I'll go along with either one.
All right.
Thank you. Now, there's a difference between an impression and a final diagnosis. Is that correct?
They sometimes can be the same.
Sure. They could end up being the same, correct?
Hopefully, they'd be close. Hopefully, they'd be close to the same at the initial.
So, how will you get from your impression to the final diagnosis typically?
A combination of the history, the exam, and the response to therapy.
Specifically, when you were talking about something like herpes, how, and I understand you've indicated that there are some things you could visually see, but with regards to testing, how did you get from impression to a final diagnosis?
A combination of all those things I just mentioned: the history, the exam, and the laboratory supportive data. Sometimes imaging and response to therapy.
Is it fair to say, Dr. McGrath, that from your experiences in treating Mr. Kelly, sitting here in the courtroom today, you cannot say that 100% he has herpes?
I feel that 100% he has herpes.
Okay. Are you saying you feel as in you know? I feel like it's freezing in here. Objection. But someone else might not feel that way.
Is that a question?
Oh, are you asking me? Oh.
Is that a question? We have to wait for the judge.
Oh, were you asking me?
There, there's an objection.
Oh, I didn't hear it. You guys have to use the mic.
I apologize.
The objection is sustained as to form.
When someone is diagnosed in your experience, let's say with, God forbid, AIDS, usually there's testing done, correct? In order to determine if they have AIDS.
Regarding AIDS, yes.
Okay. And the testing is done to confirm whether or not medically they have it, correct?
With AIDS,
Yes.
it helps support the diagnosis. It helps confirm the diagnosis of AIDS.
Confirm the diagnosis, yes. All right. So if a patient had a test come back and the results were negative, you could say to know 100% that this person does not have AIDS, correct?
I'm not sure about the false negatives with AIDS, so I can't answer that on the base of my knowledge. I can't answer that question regarding AIDS on the base of my knowledge.
So there's always the possibilities of false negatives. Is that what you're saying?
I think he doesn't know.
You could repeat the question for me and I could re-answer it.
Thank you, Dom.
Oh, that's wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That was
Okay.
me.
Thank you, Dom. Thank
No,
you.
no problem. You
No,
could
I
repeat.
think I read your part,
Yeah,
Dom.
you did.
Dom, I was eating. Sorry.
It's all good.
Sure. Okay. My understanding was that you're saying even though a test come back negative for AIDS, there's still the possibility of false negative. And so you wouldn't say 100% that someone had AIDS.
Well,
Well,
there's
oh, go ahead. I'm
there's
sorry.
other tests for AIDS. There's viral counts, and it's not that simple. So I can't answer that. I don't have the knowledge of AIDS.
Dr. McGrath, I understand that you earlier said that you think that that's what he has.
Objection.
Is that a common?
Well,
What?
sustained as the form, but you can rephrase that question.
Thank you, Judge. That you believe 100% that he has herpes, correct?
I believe that 100% based on his concern, the one exam I had, the recurrence of the description of the lesions, and the response to therapy.
Okay, doctor. You never told him to come in and to come in and see you, perhaps during an outbreak or shedding that you talked about earlier, so that you could get tests and could officially say stamp those medical records and say yes, he actually has this.
I don't recall if I ever asked him to come in during an outbreak.
Nor did he come to see you when it was claiming he had an outbreak, correct?
I feel he did not need to if he responded so quickly to treatment.
Well, the treatment. I think what you're referring to is Valtrex, right?
The treatment is Valtrex.
Well, Valtrex can be used to treat other things, perhaps,
such
besides herpes. I'm sorry.
such as
You don't get to ask me the questions.
I know, but well, sorry. That's okay.
Can is this me or is that still the court saying this? Well, I said, can it be used to treat things other than herpes? Have you prescribed it for other things other than herpes?
I prescribed it for herpes simplex, cold sores, herpes genital herpes, and herpes zoster. Herpes.
Okay, herpes. But doctor, there's different types. We just discussed that, right? There's different kinds of strands of herpes, correct?
Different serotypes: herpes, herpes, herpes. One, two, I, one, two. I think there's up to 6 or 7 or 8.
Okay. And I'm not a medical doctor, but Dr. McGraw, are you saying that someone who has herpes, person A, and then we've got person B over here and who has herpes, they automatically have the same kind of herpes?
Is that a question or?
This is a question. I can ask it again if you like.
Yes, ask me again, please.
This is a question. I can ask you again if you like.
Ask me again, please.
Person A has herpes. Person B has herpes. Are you telling the jury that that means that they have the same type of herpes and the same type of herpes 1, 2?
Object.
Objection. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were back. I'm on another page.
Well, overruled. Can you answer the question?
Well, overruled. Can you answer the question? They may have the same kind of herpes. They may not.
Right. 50-50, right?
Well, I'll sustain the objection to that. Put another question to the witness.
You're saying this. They might have the same type and may not. Is that fair to say? Is that what you just said?
That's correct. Who are we talking about? 3 different patients?
Is that what is that what you understand the question to be?
I'm confused with the question.
The court
Let's just clarify what the testimony is.
is your question is that why don't you rephrase a question so the doctor can answer it? Sure. There is genital herpes, right?
Yes.
And how will you say it is a subcategory? It's a type of herpes. What is the proper?
It's when the herpes virus is present on the genitals. It doesn't matter which of the herpes serotypes it is. It would be genital herpes no matter which one it was.
Got it. There's other kind of herpes, right? Than just genital.
Right.
So there's oral, right?
Usually on the lips, not the mouth.
I apologize. I should have said on the lips. And those are 2 different strands. Is that correct?
They may or may not be. It can be the same strain.
Okay. There could be the same strand or they cannot be. Is that what you said, right?
Yes.
Additionally, when a patient comes in and ultimately you determine that you believe they have herpes, do you do your testing? Are you able to tell? You can't actually tell them who gave it to them, or is it fair to say
That's fair to say. Yes.
herpes could lie dormant? I think you even indicated that earlier for a long period of time. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then someone might not have an outbreak or we're talking about it be years, and that's fair to say.
Yes.
All right. And so, if someone come into your office and ultimately they had herpes and they told you they were intimate with one person, that will help you try to figure out who is, right?
Objection.
Well, is it part of your job as a doctor to figure out who transmitted the herpes to your patient? No, it is not. Part of my job is to instruct the patient to call their sexual contacts and inform them of the diagnosis. It's not my job to call the patients who he had sex with and transfer he or she or went to whoever went to from who to who.
So you don't ask him questions and try to ascertain if he have slept with multiple people that you will want to make sure he protect.
What's the question?
In discussing your patient, it's obviously specifically Mr. Kelly. You never discuss with him about who is this other person. Maybe I should have given them medication as well.
Objection. Overruled. Do you ever have that? Did you ever have that conversation with Mr. Kelly?
I had the conversation to inform his partners.
You told him to inform his partners?
That was in the medical record. Inform partners.
Got it. So the answer to my question is no.
Repeat the question.
I'm going to move on because I can't even remember that at this point. Dr. McGraw, when it comes to genital herpes, that is or is not a bacterial disease.
It's not a bacterial disease, it's a viral disease.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's a viral disease.
You indicated that you also had a friendship with Mr. Kelly. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Socially as well,
Yes.
correct? All right. And in fact, you've been to a number of different studios to treat him. Is this fair to say, or to see him if not feeling well?
Yes.
Okay. How often will you say how often you've been to these studios, or just once or twice?
In 25 years, not often.
Okay. I think you would say so. You've been to 3 different locations. Is that correct? Studios?
I'll have to read that. I'd have to add up the studios. Larrabee, the House Studio, Ohio Street, and Justine. That adds up to 4.
I apologize. You've been to 4. Thank you. And when you were gone to those studios, there have been other people there?
Yes.
Men, women, one or both?
Yes, as I recall.
Ever see any underage girls there?
Not that I recall. I didn't check their ages.
You didn't ask them for their license?
No.
Not your job when you go there, huh? All right. I apologize. Doctor, did you notice were the bedrooms in any of these studios just you would go to that? Did you notice? I don't know how they writing this, but go
I
ahead.
don't recall seeing any bedrooms.
As there were any activities, there were when you were there. I believe the testimony was that sometimes you go late at night. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And sometimes you have to kind of wait there for a while. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And when you were there waiting for Mr. Kelly was working on his music, is that fair to say?
I don't know what he was always doing while I was waiting.
Not always. So you never went to the studios and listened to him while you were waiting to get, to get a chance to speak with him.
I would wait and wait until he wanted to see me. And then sometimes it was just to listen to some music that he was proud of or wanted me to hear it.
Okay, thank you. Timely wise, are we talking 10 o'clock at night? Sometimes would you go there?
I would unlikely get there at 10 o'clock. I may be there until 10 o'clock. If it was much longer, I would leave because I go to bed at 9 p.m. usually.
Okay. When will you be there in the evening hours? Were you aware of any? Strike that. There are people that were working there with Mr. Kelly at the same time when you were there. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. He wasn't usually just there by himself, true?
Yes.
Okay. He had engineers and so forth. They were there, correct?
Yes.
And you've met some of them. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And when you had the chance to finally speak with Mr. Kelly, it wasn't like he continued to work after you left. Is that fair to say?
Objection. Sustained. Sustained.
Would you go when you would go? Oftentimes, I think you said there is different times were you to go to his house. Is this true?
Yes.
And in fact, you go, I believe you indicated sometimes the parties. Is that true?
Yes.
You also went for there was a time where Mr. Kelly's daughter's dog passed away and he had to have a funeral for the dog. Do you remember being there for that?
I remember being there for a dog funeral.
And there was a lot of people there for that. Is that correct?
How do you define a lot?
Huh? Hello?
How do you define a lot?
A lot. Oh, a lot. Okay, I didn't hear you say that part. Okay. The house that he lived in there, it was how many square feet is just a guesstimate would you say it is?
I would not know how many square feet in the house.
Okay. I'm not familiar with
I'm not,
square.
that's my part.
Okay,
I'm
okay, go
not
ahead.
familiar with square feet in homes at all. I could not tell you the square feet here.
Well, if we pretended that this is a house, the courtroom that we're in right now, would you say that Mr. Kelly's home was about this size?
Objection, Your Honor. I don't understand the relevance. Let's move on to something else.
When will you go to the parties at Mr. Kelly's house? There was music playing, I assume, right?
There was often music playing.
Okay. DJ a lot of times as well.
Occasionally, yes. DJ.
Loud music.
I don't know the volume or the decibels. I'm sorry, I can't be sure of that.
Okay. So you never had to leave because you were like, this music was too loud. I got to get out of here.
Objection. Sustained.
When you went to his house for whatever reason it was, either to work medically or socially gatherings, do you remember ever seeing any underage girls?
Objection. I feel like we went over this already. Do you remember seeing anybody?
No, I don't remember seeing what I would consider underage girls
This is at this house, correct?
at the house.
Yes, thank you. When you would go, whether at the house or to the studios, do you go with to the studios? Did you go like in the doctor's coat, or oftentimes you would see an envision of a doctor's wearing when you treat their patients? Don, hello, hello.
His thing not working. It shows that he's there, but it's not working to come in.
Okay. No. Okay. Would you ever? Okay. Would
You
you
want
never?
part really back in?
Wait a minute.
Where's he? Come on there. What's wrong with his thing? I'm gonna kick him out and then maybe he'll come back in.
You want to wait for him to come back in right quick?
Yeah, let's see.
He probably have to reboot and come back in. It's been a long time.
Finally got a picture up. Hey guys, you guys are still up. I'm getting sleepy now. You guys must love this reading. Okay, folks, come on back in. Where they at?
Okay, let's just keep going. Then he'll just pick back up when he go. Who gonna be another?
T. He just left too.
I
T.
over.
Okay.
Stephen, I was about to say, Geddes, can you help out?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
Okay.
23.
No.
No. Would you go to his home and treat other people at his home, correct?
No.
Okay. At a certain would you do, you wouldn't have one of the guests sitting there and you wouldn't be long doing a gynecological exam at his home at one of his female guests. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Excuse me. This
That
is
sounds
travel.
correct.
I can
That
read one.
that sounds preposterous, correct? Oh, I'm sorry. That's correct.
Can you guys hear me?
Object. Are you going to object? Sustain.
Okay. You
Okay.
indicated earlier that who part is not your job, right? Who else had you indicated earlier that who part is not your job, right? Who else he would have having sex with, correct?
Clarify the question for
I'm sorry. What is the specific question? Oh, no, that's for you. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. My fault. My phone had overheated.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Clarify the
know.
question.
Okay. Clarify the question for me. I'm sorry.
What is the specific question for me?
You said earlier that the who he can't determine the who basis or whatever information you have with Mr. Kelly. You have no idea who gave him he gave him that, correct?
Hello?
Correct.
Okay.
You spoke. That isn't the first time you had to testify about this. Is that correct?
How do you define testify?
Well, the court.
if you want to ask about a statement he made at a prior time, you can do that.
Thank you. You had to take an oath before, correct? And you were asked questions. There was a stenographer taking it all in, and you had to answer the questions.
Yes.
Objection as to form. Did you testify?
Did you testify? Did
Go
you
ahead.
testify at another proceeding?
Yes.
Next question.
That proceeding occurred in April 17th. I'm making sure I got that right date.
April 2020?
2019.
2019. All right.
Do you remember when you asked some questions that you specifically, and I'll get that.
Let's do the form correctly. Were you asked the following question and did you give the following answer?
Thank you, Judge. Were you asked several questions similar to what you're being asked about today?
Yes.
And that was the result of being at work one day and secret agent.
Objection.
Sustain.
If you want to direct him to
No,
a question,
no, you skipped. It's special agent.
Agent.
a special agent.
Sustain.
If you want to direct him to a question and answer, you may do so. That was you supposed to say that.
No, that's you.
No, that was Sylvia
That
supposed
was
to say sustain.
Gordon.
Oh,
You
yeah,
say that
yeah,
sentence
yeah.
because I say thank you.
Yeah, that was Sylvia. Yeah. my fault.
There's a Q there. I don't
No.
say that.
No,
We
yes,
never
you do.
It says
Nuh-uh.
it says the court, and then
I
that's
said
you,
that
Sylvia.
properly. The number 3, Sylvia. You number 3
Yeah.
and 4 and 5. You supposed
I
to say
said
that.
sustain. And if you want to direct him to a question and answer, you may do so.
Thank you. You end up turning over all the medical records that you had to the government, correct?
Yes.
In fact, to the United States government, you gave them, obviously, you can't count, but whatever you had, correct?
I can count, but yes.
And that is what the results of a special agent coming to.
Can I see counsel at the side? They were subpoenaed.
He was served with a subpoena.
He testified to that on direct.
I heard you say that when you read that report.
They came
Say that.
they came there and served him with a subpoena, and he thereafter complied with it.
Yes.
There is nothing nefarious about that. It's a properly served subpoena.
I'm not saying.
It's been a long day. He had to answer the subpoena. I can't suggest to the jury that it was improper. It's not a jury question. I don't understand the point.
Judge, the point is, my information that I have is that he was again that this just information I'm told that he was forced to turn over. He wanted to, well, they got some stuff missing, and he wanted to get Mr. Kelly's signature first.
But the thing is, you can't litigate the propriety of the subpoena in front of the jury.
I wasn't going to say it's a bad subpoena.
Let me finish. It could be that the subpoena wasn't properly served, but there is another form to do that, and it isn't here. I don't want to have to any more questioning about that. Is there something else you want to say?
Just that it was properly served. He complied with it. Under the law, a patient's signature is not required for grand jury subpoena.
I agree with you.
I don't think there's any point. Just because somebody feels that way, move on to something else.
Thank you, Judge. Dr. McGraw, is it fair to say, did you ever have a goatee?
No.
Dr. McGraw, did you ever have a beard?
No.
Dr. McGraw, did you indicate that there was a time that you went to a concert and Mr. Kelly paid for the airfare? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And he will also leave tickets for the show so you could go there at will call, correct?
Yes.
And he will pay for those too, obviously, right?
Yes.
So that was common. Is that correct?
Not that common. No. That's not.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So you had to pay for your own tickets to go to the concert.
I thought you meant common like frequently.
No, sorry. You will come. You will go. Other than I believe you indicated a few times you had to pay your own airline ticket.
Room, yes. Not airline. Ticket hotel room.
Okay. So airline tickets was
I paid for that once or twice. Yes.
okay. The times when you didn't pay for that, you dealt with an assistant of Mr. Kelly's who set it up for you. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the assistant will ask you questions about that, a question about what day works for you, hours, and ultimately give you will figure out your schedule. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And is there was an issue with you not being able to get the tickets at will call or so forth, you had a number of someone to call. Is that the same person to try to figure out?
There was never an issue at will call, so
Okay.
I did not have to call anybody.
Okay. Did you have a number of anybody you will call if you need to?
I'm sure I had a phone number at the time. I did not remember who or what number.
Okay. How about Diana Copeland? Do you
I've heard
know her
that name.
name?
I've heard that name, yes.
You seen her at the doctor's office, correct?
Not as a patient.
No, not as a patient. My question was, you seen her, correct?
I've seen her.
And you were aware that she was an assistant of Mr. Kelly's, correct?
I'm aware of that.
Judge, may I just want to have a moment?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Dr. McGraw. I don't have any further questions.
Any redirect?
Very briefly, Your Honor, I promise.
Then I shake my head and go like this.
Dr. McGrath, did you diagnose the defendant with genital herpes?
Yes.
Is there any doubt in your mind that the defendant had genital herpes?
No.
After you diagnosed the defendant with genital herpes, did you prescribe him Valtrex?
Yes.
Was that to treat genital herpes?
Yes.
Did you prescribe him Valtrex to treat anything else?
No.
After you diagnosed the defendant with herpes, did you inform him that he had?
Yes.
And did you advise him sexual partners know of his diagnosis and to practice safer sex?
Yes.
Is there any doubt in your mind about that?
No.
No further questions.
Any recross?
No, Judge, thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. You can step down.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying late. I'm going to give you the usual instruction. Please do not look at anything up about the case. Don't read any news report. Don't do any research on your own. Report to me any efforts to anyone to influence you improperly or to influence another juror improperly. Have a great night. I also want to thank our reporter for staying late as well. You have a good night, everyone.
All rise.
What
What
time?
time?
Well, you'll get the instruction about when to come. Usual time. All right, everybody. Can you have a seat? I think I'm just going to have Donna dismiss the jury without the need to bringing her out here. I think everyone agrees with that. Yes, from the defense.
It's fine, Your Honor.
Okay.
No objections, Judge.
The only thing I'm wondering about, though, is if I need to give her an instruction about speaking to other jurors. Anything like that.
I think you do, Your Honor. We would make that request.
And then, can I just see one of the marshals over at the sidebar? Just in front of row is fine. Just have a seat. That's perfect. Okay. This is an alternate juror number 3. I understand that Miss Green, that you need to go to your job in order to get benefits and things like that. Is that right?
Correct.
And this would be a hardship for you?
There's going to be no income for the next 4 weeks, and I'll have to have no benefits.
No benefit and no income. So I'm going to excuse you from this jury. I'm going to give you some instruction. Do not speak to anyone of your fellow jurors about the case, and do not speak to anyone else about this case, okay?
Okay.
We are keeping your name confidentially and for the reason I described above before, okay?
Okay.
So you're excused from the case.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else that anyone needs to raise? I think we got to let everybody go.
No, Your Honor.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Wait, Judge.
Okay, so we're going to start tomorrow.
Yes,
What's
we
good,
done.
man?
We're
Yeah, that
done.
was a lot.
I didn't know that doctor took that damn long on the stand.
Yeah, he was up there for a minute. Damn.
That she sure was.
You
So
was
what do you guys think
oh,
about it?
Huh?
What do you guys think overall about this reading?
Sleepy?
Yeah.
About the reading, though.
I said I'm sleepy. It made me sleepy.
Oh, my sinuses is acting up.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I think. Regarding the doctor, I think I'm just gonna base it on like both sides. I think that the there's a little bit misconfusion, like where the doctor was kind of with Nicole and the doctor. I think it was a little confusing on that part. But all in all, though, I think it was, it was cool. I think they could have used him as a witness though, for the defense. You know.
Well, they're going to probably bring in their own medical expert.
Right,
I think he was frustrated with Nicole.
Right, because honestly, I think what it was is that she wasn't really familiar with herpes, It doesn't appear to me that she's, knowledgeable about the types of herpes and things like that, because the question she was asking was so like repetitive in different ways, but it was just basic. You know what I mean?
Well, she was trying to trip him up. That's what she does.
Well,
But
yeah, of
what I
course.
was saying,
Of course.
but what
yeah.
I was thinking was, I knew where she was going with the line of questioning.
Right.
I knew exactly where she was going with the line of questioning, or whatever. But the thing of it is, he didn't do bad on the cross with the
He
line
didn't.
of questioning because he was the expert in medical. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I don't think that he didn't do bad, but I think that she did make her point when she said you only treat it for herpes. It's not treated for
Exactly.
nothing else. And he just named all them different herpes. But that is not correct, though. She knew that. That is not correct. Valtrex just doesn't treat herpes.
Nope, it don't.
It doesn't treat herpes.
Treat
like
shingles.
I'm a living testimony of that. It does not treat herpes. So she was hoping but she got what she needed out of him. She got what she needed out of him because he was saying it just treat herpes. It don't just treat herpes.
But also too, Spitfire, what you guys have to what I caught too was, which was good for R. Kelly, is you guys know how I feel about it. I think he has herpes. That's just what it is. It's not a bad thing. I think he has it. Okay. But the point is that
you wouldn't let me talk about it now, all of a sudden you want to talk about it. Huh?
Because she brought it up. I'm not talking about that specifically. So I think he has it. You think he doesn't. It is what it is. But what I think helped R. Kelly was when the doctor literally was saying that he literally said that R. Kelly is he prescribed it to him for every day, and from his understanding, R. Kelly was taking the medication every day. He showed no signs of him not taking it every day, like instructed to, which is a good thing. So you see what I'm saying? Because if you're taking your medicine every day as instructed, you shouldn't be able to, I don't know the specifics, but I would assume it wouldn't be as
you're keeping it under control.
Exactly. You're keeping it under control. So it wouldn't be as, you can't spread it just rapidly as if you weren't taking the medicine. But he said that he was taking it every, according to what his understanding was, which is helpful for R. Kelly.
Well, my thing with that is, okay, so he said as a 2007.
Right.
Now, he was still married then, right?
R. Kelly? Well,
yeah.
I think they were separated from 2007 to 2009, I think. 2007 to 2010, something like that.
But so his wife should have it.
Because I'm thinking to
myself.
Not
necessarily.
Well, yes, yeah, because sometimes
she should.
No, not always. You don't all. It don't.
Yeah,
always.
Not necessarily.
But she's been married to him, and he had bad outbreaks during that time. Because if he'd taken the medicine, if he had the medicine, that means he was having outbreaks.
Yeah, but sometimes when you take the medicine, it can suppress the symptoms, and you don't always have to spread it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the point is, they say okay.
It's only
saying that they okay. I'm just being a devil's advocate here.
She could have it. So she could have it. I mean, but some people just don't want to speak on that. You know what I mean? Like some people don't want to say they have herpes.
Right.
I mean,
well, we don't know if she got it or not.
Yeah, I mean,
but not only that, you know how many people have herpes? I'm not being or anything.
Everybody got herpes.
Yeah, if you're sexually active,
it's in your system.
I don't get why, they're even charging him with something like that. There's a million people out here spreading that all the time.
Right. We'll see.
But that's what we're saying. That's not a federal crime.
Right. I mean,
right.
Giving somebody herpes is not even a crime. It's AIDS, and that was the law was for AIDS.
Well, yeah. See, a couple things too is my thing is like people are making it seem like it's AIDS or something. You know what I mean? It's herpes. Like it's not curable, but it's treatable. So it's not like you're gonna die from it or anything like that. So that's one thing where I tried to explain to people when they're like, you guys all killed me about it when I was like, he has it. His doctor said it. Like people were like, oh no, he doesn't.
Sylvia has an ugly monkey funky, and y'all can't stop me.
Yeah, they're just trolling. But that's not a bad thing. If you're sexually active, which clearly we know he was, it's bound to happen, especially if you have a lot of partners, which we know he had multiple girlfriends, whatever. That's not a crime. The
And did,
crime that they're saying is that he knowingly gave it to them, which I verily doubt, because he knew he had it. You know what I mean? And I believe he was telling them, you know, and that's going to be, again, that's hard to prove because like I said, if I'm laying here right now with a girl and we're about to have sex and then I tell her, hey, I have herpes, but I'm taking medicine for it, whatever, do you still want to continue, do you still want to have sex?
Hell
some,
no, get your ass up off me, nigga.
well, yeah, but some will say no, some will say yes, and if you say yes, there's no, see what I'm saying? No, you could have told me right here just verbally, and then we could have had sex, and then next week you could say, oh, he didn't tell me. So that's my point. It's very hard to prove that unless he was in a text and said, hey, I have herpes, or whatever. So that's why that's difficult for them to prove, because you can't. What if he told them verbally? There's no way of proving that he told you that verbally.
to be
You know what I
honest, the way Johanna acts, he probably, I believe he told her, and I believe she was fine with it.
I believe that
Right.
fool, if he
I
had
He gave
a
it
deadly disease, she still would have slept with him. That's how much in love with him she was.
right.
Right. And not only that, you got to remember, to a regular person, like a regular dude, I'm regular. If I told a girl I have herpes and, if she's in love with me, she probably would still have sex with me. You know what I mean? But if I just a one night stand, whatever, and say, hey, I got herpes, she's probably not going to want to have sex with me. But that's R. Kelly. So you got to remember, people are
If
in
somebody
love
tell
with
me
this
they
guy.
have herpes, I ain't having sex with them.
I'm not
Yeah,
having sex
but
with
that's
you
you,
either.
Sylvia. A lot of these women, they don't care. They will still have to put a condom. Let's have sex. So
I'm good. I'm
right.
good.
But that's you guys though. You know what I mean?
Shit.
A lot of women, they don't care. They will have
I'm-
it. Now, because herpes isn't deadly. Now, if you had AIDS, women probably would be like, I'm okay. You know what I mean? But herpes is, you just go get medicine just like gonorrhea and
Well,
everything
that's
else.
how AIDS is today now.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. But you know what I mean, though? Like a deadly, that's known to be deadly. I mean, now it's treatable, whatever. But my point is that stuff like that, people would still have sex on that and won't care. You know what I mean? Because it's treatable. You can just go get medicine and you're good.
That's
So
crazy.
some people, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Some people won't have sex on their period. Some people will. You know what I mean? So it's
Now
just
you just being nasty. Now I don't want to hear about that.
everyone has different stuff,
I do
So,
agree with him.
but bottom line though, like I said, it's going to be very difficult for them to prove. And to me, in my opinion, just overall, so far, what I've seen from the trial is the government has not painted a RICO. We know it's not a racketeer, but they have done a shitty job of that. I'm just being real.
So far.
So far, they have done a horrible job.
I mean, what make me think that they done a horrible job is that their key witnesses to me was shot.
Yes,
Two of your key witnesses you were shot because you only have the prior bad acts to support what the key witnesses are saying.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep. And all of them, spitting fire, not just, you said a witness. Every witness that they've brought to the stand is not has credibility issues, has not credible. The only person that
The
I would
doctor
say
was the
that
only
really
one that was closer.
that didn't really support what they had, but he was just neutral, was the doctor. He was just
and the police officer.
And the police, right.
Police officer was on, seemed like it was on the other side too.
The police officer, they would just seem like they were just saying what happened. Shit, it
wasn't just neutral.
In my personal opinion, I think the only person that was just neutral and was just saying what happened wasn't for either. He wasn't like leaning towards one side or the other. Was the doctor? He was just telling what happened from his end. That's it. Everyone else had credibility issues, in my personal opinion.
Except the police officer didn't have credibility issues.
Well, no, but you got to think these people are not on trial. What they was trying to establish was that he was running an enterprise and that these people were handling his business, and stuff like that. That's what they was trying to establish by these police officers with the police officer. But that's because at the time he was a mega star. There's a lot of people who live in mansions and they have
Yeah.
people help them assist them in their compound.
Yes, exactly. And that's my point, is because that's going to be very difficult for them to prove the racketeering, is because literally they're making it sound like he's going out there and having sex with women and is benefiting financially off that, which is not true. His music has been about sex since he started. And it's not like, and he's not just benefiting off that. He already had that intact before he started having sex. You know what I mean? So, I mean, well, he was probably having sex. I don't know. But my point is, he's not using the music and traveling just to go have sex with these women and using the music to get paid off of it. You know what I mean? To pay these women. It's just not proof. Like, I don't think that's a racketeering, in my opinion. It's just not.
It's not.
You know? So they're going to have difficulty. And it's not, like I said, if they called witnesses to the stand who have never lied, I mean, people lie, whatever, but never gained anything from him financially. Let's say these witnesses filed police reports when the stuff happened, never filed a civil suit against him. They just left him and then filed criminal charges and left him. Then I would say, okay,
y'all.
even if they, didn't lie about the age or whatever, but they didn't. They all sued him. They all benefited in some type of way from him. And then now
guys, I'm gonna have to say goodnight. I'm tired.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you. So what time y'all reading tomorrow?
Yeah, she's gonna have an after show, y'all.
All right. I'm going to be getting ready, and then we have a late night discussion as usual. See you later.
Good night, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you,
What time, Sylvia?
Thank you.
Sylvia, what time tomorrow?
What time is best for you, late bird?
Probably like. Which one are we? Who's the witness tomorrow? Is it Demetrius?
It's gonna be Demetrius coming up now.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say probably.
We need all the readers, man, because I need.
I'm gonna let Lolo. I'm gonna let Lolo do Kanik. He did a good job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him do that. And then we have.
Let me go look it over first. Let me see what we have next. Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, we have T. Stevens. We have. I didn't even catch your name. What was your name?
Henny Hen. I have to work again till 5.
Till 5. Okay. And are you east or west?
I'm east.
East. So that's 2 p.m. Pacific. Okay. Who else do we have? We had Spit and Fire. So yeah.
And thank everybody. I appreciate it.
Let me go along a second. I gotta go see who's tomorrow's the 19th, right? The 20th.
20th, yeah.
20th.
We did 18, 19.
We're doing pretty good, y'all.
Exactly, high maintenance. I agree.
What happened?
No, she was just saying, to be honest, most of these groupies look at it like, if I can't secure the bag with the baby, they be willing to take some sexual to get the bag. I agree.
Okay, we have Gettys, we got the court, we have blank. You have to be here, Miss Blank Becker.
So we can do what, 5 p.m.?
Oh, okay, Novato. Yeah, he has a part already. Lolo has a part. He's Novato.
Okay, what happened to Loyalty? What happened to Loyalty?
Loyalty, he just couldn't get in tonight. I don't know what happened. So we got. Oh, this one's gonna be a long one, y'all. Demetrius is on here.
Sincerely Bree. Yeah, come on. Come on, Sincerely. Oh, Travel the World wants to read again. And so does Bree. Sincerely Bree.
Okay, I gotta go. Now we have enough people already. We have the people. It's not that many people. It's just the same.
Same. Okay.
Yeah, it's just long because Demetrius' thing is longer. What's his name is Demetrius. We got everybody already.
Stevens. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
We got everybody.
Okay, so we just have to figure out a time then.
Yeah.
So I guess, do you want to just do?
We're gonna do it after 5. We're gonna do it. Is that 5:30 okay for you?
I was gonna say 5:30 or 6, just so she can make it.
Is that 5:30 good for you? Give time to do, or 6 o'clock?
6 would be better.
Okay.
Let's do 6.
Let's do 6.
Eastern Standard Time. So 3 p.m. Pacific, y'all.
All right. All right,
All
guys.
right.
Thank you, everybody. Good night. Good
You
night.
guys have a good night.
night.
Stay blessed. See y'all
Dom,
tomorrow.
Dom, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for spending fire. Oh, she gone.
Yeah, she
Thank
gone.
you guys. Have a good night.
Yep.
All
You
right,
guys
good
have a good one.
night.
God bless
Good
you.
Take care.
night, y'all.
Bye bye.
Dom, I'm gonna text you, okay?